So I'm late, late to my own party. How about that? Wait till a couple people get on in here. Oh, I'm just knocking stuff all over the place. The reason I'm late is because I knocked something over behind me. Had to pick it up and fix it quick before we get started. So got to take a second and like my own video here, in memory, you know, of Cash is King Trucking. Everybody say a short one for Cash is King Trucking. So how's everybody doing tonight? We got plenty to talk about. Man, Chicken Holler first in here. Hello from Alabama. Thanks for coming on in, Chicken Holler. Trucking up, what's going on? Straight trucking. Doing laundry. Nothing better to do while you're doing laundry than check out a live stream. Little Al, thanks for coming in. We got some new names in here. That's all right. DPG. So yeah, it's things are changing a little bit in the freight markets, aren't they? Plenty to talk about. We got apparently the driver shortage was solved today. We can just speak that into existence. Couple phone calls to Walmart, Target, who else? FedEx, and we can magically just solve the whole driver shortage or so-called driver shortage. So I'm glad that's done. Now we can move along with that. Who else we got in here? Killian's Trucking. Thanks for coming in. JH Grafton. What's wrong with Cash? I've been out the loop. I don't know. We ain't heard from him in a while. Figured I better throw on my Cash is King merch here in support. The doctors say he's going to be fine. The surgery went okay. They were successfully able to remove the gear shifter from where it was lodged, and they're saying he's going to be just fine. So that's great news. Gary Bates says, "Tell me how to work my brokerage." Better have some time on your hands. We've talked since the beginning of the year about building relationships with direct shippers and customers and stuff. So that's where you start right there, and build some relationships with trucking companies. It takes a lot of time. It's not easy. Everybody thinks it's so easy. It's huge time consuming thing. Paul Chapo's in here. Thanks for coming in, my man. Killian's Trucking. Yes, I got your email. I have not had a chance to email you back. It has been a very busy day. I tell you what, despite how many people agree with me, there's some areas that are going a little soft around the country. Volumes are down, and it was a long day finding loads. I tell you what, they just want to beat the tar out of you, and it takes a lot of phone calls and a lot of persistence and fighting back, and a lot of time. But we were able to book some good loads today, better than I anticipated. I tell you what, I had one guy out in Pennsylvania this weekend. He's going to be there on Friday afternoon, so we're looking for a load for Saturday, and I was just striking out all over the place. They're trying to beat the rates down so bad out there coming back to the Midwest that it's frustrating. But I guess that's where the value of a dispatcher or having somebody doing that for you comes in. You can I can sit at this computer all day, and when a good load pops up, it's not there for long. You got to hot dial that phone, get on it, and book that load before it's gone. If you're driving, you're gonna miss that load. So in times like this, we've been talking since January. Paul from Freight Connect and I and others about building relationships, not just with, I talk about not just with direct shippers and such, but also building, regular relationships with brokers here. It starts to pay off in a time like this. Oh, super chat from Tybor, Modi. Thank you, sir or ma'am. 1999 super sticker. I appreciate that. So let's see who else we got in here. Trucking Up says smoke and mirrors. Oh, we talking about the trucking, the driver shortage. Yeah, it's funny how gross mismanagement Up till I'm probably willing to admit this may be the first time in my career that there maybe actually is somewhat of a driver shortage. Up until now, there's Paul from Freight Connect texting me right now. He's not watching my live. What is wrong with you, Paul? Um, it's just been gross mismanagement. If there's ever a trucker shortage, there'd never be trucks sitting. Everybody would always be moving. It's just mismanagement. Uh, Maybe now we have some, with the whole scenario from last summer and people falling out of the markets, blah blah blah. But anyway, I still don't think it's largely a shortage. It's a lot. There's equipment problems. There's still mismanagement, regulation problems. But at any rate, yeah, a lot of it's smoke and mirrors. A lot of everything is smoke and mirrors. Uh, DPG says, I had a guy tell me he can make it with $3 a mile. I sure hope so. You better make it on a lot less than that. Um, Hi, you know, the last couple of months I've been saying, you know, don't. I'm not a cheerleader for lower rates and a cheerleader for bad things, but just living in reality that hey, this can't last forever. Rates can go down. And am I saying the rates down forever? No, we got a lot of reasons right now. We got holidays we're dealing with, inventory situations where people over order. They get a grip on their orders of what we're going to need for the holiday season. They say, "Oh, we over ordered. Let's cancel some of that." We've got different things going on with ports and seasonal produce, holidays, people needing off of work for different things. We got all kinds of things going on. Plus, it's they're pushing back. They are pushing back on the rates. Places cancel loads now. We've always said that eventually people lose their ability to pay or their willingness to pay. So, will they leave it sit on the dock and rot? Well, yeah, that's kind of what they're doing. They at a certain point, some of these places, they'll leave it sit. They won't ship it. Uh, they sometimes can't afford it, and sometimes they've lost their willingness to pay. So screw it. We'll try to ship it on a cheaper day. And a lot of the brokers, been calling today and in different days, and every day is a little different. There's a lot of volatility right now. Some days you can just kill it, and some days you're going to struggle. So it's not permanent forever. It's just day to day. We're kind of day to day on everything. And like today, you could call and not much negotiating going on. They didn't want to give on anything. So you just got to be persistent and keep an eye on the loads and stuff, and hopefully you get lucky or have somebody that can do it for you. Um, but it was unpopular at the time when I was saying it. Not too many people agreed with me, and I'm not saying I told you so. I'm just saying a lot of people were saying that this is here to stay. This is the new normal. Rates can't go down because of inflation. Rates can't go down because of fuel prices. If they want it to, it'll happen. They don't care about your inflation. They care about their inflation, and they don't give a damn about your fuel prices. So it's this summer made a lot of people look really smart. You couldn't trip over a rock and hit $4 or $5 a mile, and things are things are going to change. It might be for a week. It might be for a couple days. It might be for a month. It might be for 6 months. It might be tomorrow they change back. It is what it is. We live in just god awful crazy times. So I hope that you built a good business model. I really hope you do. I hate to see anybody get hurt by it. Swollen Plum says, "How's the hammer hanging?" Oh, little bruised up today. We took a beating today. Boosted Hatch in here. NV says, "Got a direct freight deal and I'll never go back to brokers." Good for you, NV. I'm glad to hear that. I got to confess, I've been having a hard time servicing my direct customers now the way that I need to. It's been a challenge to get trucks back into my area because this area is so hot that the freight coming back here gets sucked up, and a lot of it's going for cheap when you can get it. So it is what it is. But We do the best we can, and they're still willing to work with us, and they're happy. Uh, Lawrence in the house, thanks for coming in. R. McGuire says, "Sup, Biznatch." I got that right. Not much. Sup with you, Biznatch. Swollen Plum says, "YouTube trucking is going to hurt a lot of people. Stack that cash." Yeah, I mean, how's that $10 a mile on every load working for you now? I don't. I never did like to see that. It builds people up. Not everybody. Most people can think for themselves, but it builds a lot of people up to think that that's the way it is all the time for everything, and blah 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 blah. And that's how people get hurt. That sucks. It's entertaining, but does it really help? Does it? I mean, honestly. Thanks again for the super chat, super sticker, my friend. Snorlord's in here. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Uh, Big old. How do you do that? I'm not a rocker. Is that how you do it? Right there. Check out Snorlord's channel. That's a good channel. That's a good guy. We like him. Gary says $650 for 956 miles. That sucks, but that's gonna happen. And everybody's, the thing of, oh, don't take it, let it rot on the dock. I hate to somebody's gonna haul it. Um, Not me, not us. We're not gonna haul it, but somebody's gonna. I mean, the broker knows that. They know, they know damn well when they're in a position of power and when they got one over on us. Uh, so you know, we're not smarter than their analytics and their software and their apps and their blah 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 blah. But hey, you you do the right things, build a big good business, and build relationships with these people. Like if you called that broker and you'd been working for him for 6 months now, doing fairly regular loads, most likely he's not going to do that to you. And if he does, you don't work with him anyway. So that was stupidity. It was, it was, but we're seeing a lot of it. Trucking Up says LTL are going to the hot shot markets for cheap, cheap. It's getting crazy. Yeah, this hot shot craze that went on this year, or for the last year, with this hot shot stuff, just paying ridiculous amounts of money. That man, that drew a lot of hot shot people in, and boy, was that kind of unusual. Hot shots and typically pay like that. JH says TQL has a freight claim against me for a pallet. The broker disappeared on Friday. It was minus 10-degree load. My next load was 34-degree. I carried it around for 2 days with no communication. Man, that sucks. Had scenarios like that happen. You just got to squeak and squeal until somebody pays attention. Go over that person's head, call their corporate number, threaten to call their insurance company. I mean, if it was your fault, honestly, you're going to eat that one. But you can be loud and squeaky, but still be professional. And that's the way you get things taken care of. Tybor says, "Welcome. You saved me some money too." Well, good. Glad to hear that. JH says it finally ended up taking off at Whole Foods, who still has it. Okay. That's good. David Edwards, thanks for coming in. Oh, Snorlord, thanks for a super sticker. Appreciate that. Abdallah Nur says, "Not buying." All right. What aren't you buying? We're not selling anything here. Tybor says, "Driving for 20 years, I saw a lot of things." Okay. So you've been around a while. You've seen ups and downs. Uh, Lots of cancellations. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. People not only maybe can't pay these rates forever, but they've lost the desire to ship. They don't want to ship things that bad anymore. They got people to answer to. They have budgets. They have shipping budgets and transportation budgets. Those budgets are blown. They were blown a long time ago. So things have to be prioritized. What's got to go and what can wait till tomorrow? What can wait till a Monday on a cheaper day? Um, Maybe the receiver decided they don't need it that bad to pay that much money. Well, here he is right here. Cash is king. Check out him out, channel member. Wearing this merch here in support of my brother there. Going through a tough time right now. So everybody go buy some merch. We need to boost the man's revenue. Help him out. Yeah, everybody's glad to see you here Cash. Tell you what, let me know if you want to come in. I'll bring you in. If you're at home, no worries. Michael White says, glad to see you on. I have a quick question. How should I pay myself from my business account while not having to pay an extra tax, single member LLC? That makes it very simple. You just write yourself a paycheck. Uh, unless you were a corporation, you don't have to worry about it that much. Just write yourself, if you want to pay yourself $1,000, write yourself a check for $1,000. It'll all get reconciled on your tax return at the end of the year. Make sure you're set up with somebody to pay quarterly, but also seek the advice of a tax professional, please. But a single member LLC makes it very simple to do that. Cindy says, love your content. You're very helpful. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Lawrence, a new channel member. Thank you. I appreciate that. They can have it. Okay. Uh, Soul Operator says, quick question. I'm getting my authority soon and I'm not factoring. How do you check the credit scores of brokers without a factoring company? Well, you're going to have to, it doesn't hurt to sign up with a factoring company, even if you're not going to use them. Okay. Maybe use them sparingly, just enough so they don't cancel you. Then you can run credit checks. You can check Dun and Bradstreet, which uh, is about useless if you ask me. Until you get into big companies, then it'll tell you a lot. If you use, I don't know if you use DAT or Internet Truck Stop or whatever, but they have they'll have a check mark next to their name. That's a good sign. Any broker that doesn't have a check mark, they're either brand new or they're not credit worthy. And then look for when you open them up, look for a little thing by that says TIA. If they're a TIA member, that's a good sign that they're a broker in good standing. When they send you their packet, call their references. A lot of them will give you credit references. Call them, check them. Go on their reviews for DAT, see if there's any complaints for non-payment. Now you gotta read through them to see what it's all about. Did somebody? A lot of people don't ever turn in their dang paperwork. Um, and ask them for references. There's a lot you can do. And are they somebody you've heard of? I mean, do you got to worry about the credit of CH Robinson or TQL? No. Um, you just got to follow the procedure and make sure you do what it says in the rate con for you to get paid. $650 for 956 miles. I'd probably just deadhead out. Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy. David Edwards says, smash the like button. I appreciate that. What do I think about the Walmart autonomous trucks? I think Walmart's going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to do it. I never considered the strategy of for Walmart, and I think it's smart. I think they did something smart there for them. What it is for anybody else, I don't know. Of downsizing their vehicles. So traditionally, you would take from their DC, they would take an 18-wheeler from the DC to a store. I'm seeing that they're using straight trucks for that for the autonomy, and I think that's really smart. At least a smart way to get started for them because it's way easier to manage. You don't have to equip two vehicles with cameras and sensors, a truck and a trailer. You just got to do the full truck. And proof of concept, those trucks don't take up as much. Sure, you got to make more trips, but they're probably getting it done so much cheaper it doesn't really matter. And it's way cheaper to maintain a vehicle of that size than a giant, 18-wheeler. So I think that was a good idea. Now they've been doing this for a while and didn't tell anybody. I didn't know it, but it's gonna happen. It's not as far away as people think. I know people keep saying 10 years, blah blah blah. Yeah, the infrastructure isn't ready, but nope, they don't care. The government doesn't care. They just do it and give them immunity from lawsuits. Um, so I don't want it to happen. I don't think it's ready for it, but they don't care. Plus, they all had a big powwow today on the phone with the president, and they solved the driver shortage in one phone call. So maybe that's what they did it. Who knows what the details were of that phone call? Amazing how they can solve things in a 10-minute phone call, right? Geez, I hope nobody believes that. Fuel going up. How do I pass that to the brokers? You do the best you can. They don't care. Uh, you just negotiate the best rates you can on every single load every time. And if it's somebody you work with on a regular basis, maybe you can ask for a fuel related increase. But you're way more subject to market volatility. The easy for me to say, market volatility, freight markets, fuel prices play second fiddle to that in their, and I'm speaking from their mind, not ours. Ours is, of course, that's a huge deal. Um, Credit is king. Okay, maybe. Too much credit, definitely not king. You think it still makes sense to start your own trucking company? Maybe. I mean, we've been in this upward cycle for a long time. Nobody knows how long it lasts. Absolutely. Oh, incidentally, trying to get Paul from Freight Connect to come on this weekend to do kind of a market type analysis and maybe what we see, what he sees through the end of the year and maybe first quarter. If you haven't seen the interviews with Paul from Freight Connect, go back through my live streams and watch them. Just about everything the guy said has been accurate. Um, Even this port situation, he called that way before it happened, and it's happened. It's been as big a mess as we thought it would be, and we're gonna try and get him on here this weekend. He just texted me to confirm, and he says, let's see what he says here. He says, "We're good. We're good for this weekend. So we just got to set up a day and a time." But let's talk about that. You don't want to miss that. We'll see. Like I'm as interested to hear what he has to say as everybody else. We haven't talked about it. I have my own thoughts, and we kind of bounce things off of each other. And I'm really looking forward to that. Got a lot of questions. I think people are looking for answers here. Is it a good time to start your own trucking company? Well, like I've always said, are you doing it just for the money, or is this something you want to do for 10 years, 15 years? If you're doing it for a short-term money grab, I think you might be a little late to the game. Plus, equipment is just, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not looking to buy. Uh, I could add more trucks, add more people. I'm not. I'm priced out of most markets. At a certain point, it does not make sense to pay these prices. Like, it's sure rates are good. We've all seen rates can adjust. Doesn't matter. If fuel prices are high, whatever. There's shortages. Doesn't matter. They can adjust if they want to. Uh, we're a long ways into this cycle. Maybe it goes 10 years. I don't friggin' know. But we're definitely not just starting out. Um, the equipment prices worries me. I bet you we're going to have big insurance adjustments again next year. Parts, tires, everything's going up. Uh, if you're looking to start something with your own authority, I don't know. I might just wait a little bit, get some more clarity. Maybe at least get through the holidays. We're gonna see. I think things are gonna be really sketchy and volatile and jumpy and all around the board between now and the holidays. They always are. Hey, maybe they're driving down rates this week and next week because they know that come no, Thanksgiving week, and then you're into Christmas, they're gonna have to pay astronomical rates to get, they always do on the holidays and then New Year's. They've been trying to save money now. Who the hell knows what they're thinking? Doesn't really matter. The point is, hey, it is what it is. If you're in it for the long term, maybe, but don't stretch yourself too thin. Don't set up a business model that you have to have $3 a mile to operate, because that's just not it's just not sustainable. Inflation or none, I don't care. Inflation is very real. Trust me, living it, living that inflation life right now, like we all are. But it doesn't matter. Uh, it can still sink. Short term, long term, who knows? So don't set yourself up for failure right off the bat. Um, that's kind of what I think. It's kind of been my consistent stance here for a year now. Um, Thanks for the IFTA spreadsheet. Let me know how to repay you. You don't owe me nothing. Just watch my videos, point and laugh at the dummy in the big white shirt. Incidentally, it's a Cash is King shirt. Go to my buddy Cash is King's channel and jump in that merch store, pick something up. Oh, speaking of him, $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Here's the agreed upon cash for repping the merch. Hey, it's on me. I know you're going through a tough time right now. So, but hey, your people want to hear from you. So I think a live stream is in order. Uh, and bring it on. If you want to come in this one, I'll definitely bring you in. Grade 8 transportation RTS offers credit reports on brokers through their app. No factoring necessary. Well, there you go. Good tip. See, grade 8 transportation right there. Bringing some huge value. RTS. I don't know what their website is. Maybe rts.com. I don't know. So yeah, go there. You can check credit. What does TIA stand for? Oh man, you're testing me now. It's transportation. Is it Transportation Intermediary Association? Now I gotta look it up. I could be way wrong and looking really dumb. What does TIA stand for in trucking? I guessed right. I was right. Transportation Intermediaries Association. So I had a Y on there instead of a IES. But damn, I was close. What are my thoughts on signing a contract with a factoring company? Read what you're signing. I have a factoring. Big news, breaking news. I factored my first load. And let me tell you about that. I hate it. They took part of my money, but it became necessary. My loads towards the end of was it October, was it last month's October? Yeah, towards the end of October, freight was paying so huge. I almost couldn't keep up with payroll because I'm booking what 70,000 a week in freight and having to pay all that out and then fuel and then wait 30 days for my money, but I still got to pay out. It was getting nip and tuck. Payroll was getting too big, so I factored a load. It happened to be like a to $9,300 load, and it just it hurt me to see him take. I don't know what's 200. What the heck was it? 19 times. I don't know. Like $194 they took. That hurt me a little bit, and I didn't like. They want you to fill out, submit your paperwork, and then keep a spreadsheet. I think they can take that spreadsheet and stuff it, roll it, roll it here, roll it like this, bend it in half, may put some jagged edges on it, and then shove it right up your ass. Is what you can do with that spreadsheet. That's what I think. But I use them to run credit reports now and then. Will I continue to factor? Only when absolutely needed. Because some brokers now offer 1% quick pay, 1.5% quick pay. That's better than factoring, if you ask me. And then you're not locked into that like a contract with a factoring company. So now with my brokerage, which I have not run a load through there yet, I must factor every broker load with them according to the contract. But the carrier, I don't have to do that. But the way things are looking, I may never broker a load anyway. I don't have time to mess with that. And I had hired somebody, and they kind of bailed out on me. So I'm just setting that aside for right now. Maybe some other day I can get to it. Oliver 880. Oh, he put the Oliver and his Oliver in the thumbnail. Let me hold on there, Oliver 880. Don't go away. I want to show you. I took a picture of my Oliver, and I didn't post it because nobody would care. Maybe you'll care. I don't know. Here, let me show you a picture of my Oliver with a sickle mower. Can I flip it? Oh, the green screen. The green screen takes it out. Olivers are green, and it it's okay. So Screw that. Let me show you a picture of one of my oldest Minneapolis Molines. Ah, here. You dig that? That picture don't do it justice. I'll post something or email it, DIYsemi@yahoo.com. I'll send you a couple pictures. And nobody else is going to care. You might not either, but it's my hobby. My question is, I'm being charged $32,700 for insurance. LLC and license from New York. I'd like to get insurance on PA. Do I have to change my LLC and license to get apportion plate authority there? Um, I don't know that Pennsylvania is going to be a lot cheaper for you. I've talked to a couple. I helped a guy out one time who was actually looking. Let me get this off the screen to do almost the same thing as what you're doing, and it wasn't going to save any money for insurance. Um, Is it a situation where it's right across the state line, so you're going there to get mail and stuff? I don't know. Don't do anything fraudulent, first of all. You don't want to do that. Now, you are perfectly entitled to do business whatever way you want. Maybe you have a business address in Pennsylvania. That's cool. Uh, LLCs are a state thing, so you probably need to move your business if that's what you're thinking. And your license, I mean, you can work anywhere you want. So I'm in Wisconsin. I have drivers that work for me out of Nevada. They have a Nevada license, so that's not a. It's a business is separate from you, so you don't have to really worry about your driver's license. I'm assuming you're asking, or are you asking about business licenses? Uh, that could get complicated because probably New York and Pennsylvania. I don't know. I don't live there. You're going to need some help with this, but they might have business taxes and municipality taxes and all that. So you need to ask a professional on that because you're dealing with state issues and I don't live there. I don't live there. Uh, Oh, yep. Freight trucking got it. Um, Do you know a free invoice? Pro. What is PROGRS? Programs? Okay. I'm cheap. Zoho. I use on my tablet. I use for when I'm driving. I use a Zoho invoice, ZOHO. You have a free version you can use, and then for in the office here, I pay for a version so that it can store all my uh, broker. What do you call them? Payables and all that. It's like $100 a year. I hated paying for that either. But once I saw how easy it was and how much time it saves me, I didn't mind paying $100 for it. Uh, but they do have a free version. That's the one I use when I'm on the road. So I like Zoho. There's plenty. There's all kinds of them. You can go to app stores. There's if you're doing it on your phone or your tablet, plenty of apps. Plenty of apps. What I hate about software now, and trust me, I hate all kinds of computer stuff to begin with. I hate subscriptions. Like, why can't I just buy something and own something anymore? Like, QuickBooks or whatever the hell. I hate monthly subscriptions. It drives me insane. Um, but hey, that's the way everybody is now. And mostly, I won't subscribe to. I don't have a Netflix. I don't have Amazon Prime. I don't have any of that crap because I hate subscriptions. I want to own something, use it when I want to use it. When I don't want to use it, I just want it to go away and not cost me anything. But I know that's not the way of the world anymore. Well, thank you, JH, just because you give of your time for all of us. Wow, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I wouldn't be here if y'all weren't here. That's for sure. Typo problem, no problem. Um, Thanks for that. Yep. Shannon Thomas is channel member. Good evening, all. Thanks for coming on in. Cassius King says, my channel does better when I don't put out videos. The tribe has spoken. No, it's just everybody going to your channel, Cash, wondering where you are, seeing if there's any updates. I told everybody earlier, surgeon says you're going to be fine, that they were successfully able to remove the gear shifter. There's going to be some scarring, but when the stitches come out, everything's going to be just fine. I'm not going to put out the details of what happened. Hey, what happens in a man's truck with a gear shifter, a goat, and a bottle of Crisco? Hey, it's none of my business. Just saying, none of my business. Snorlet says January is going to get interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, actually, I was talking to the Fate Trucking about that earlier on the phone. One of my drivers, I says, Between now and the New Year's is going to be what it is. It is what it is. But I'm very interested in first quarter because I think we're going to see a hard swing one way or another. Uh, which way is it going to go? You can speculate all you want. I want to see what the numbers say, what the volumes say, what the forward looking numbers say. So we're gonna try and we're gonna get freight. We're gonna get Paul from Freight Connect to come on uh, this weekend for a live interview. The man's been just about right on the money with everything so far. We're gonna hold him to a high standard, bring his crystal ball, and if he's wrong, we're going to whatever uh, blanket party. What do they call it? Code Red in the military. You know, Freight Trucking says at Cash is King. Your tribe is probably smoking something because I'm lost with no trucker news. I know. I almost feel like I have to take it upon myself to do trucker news because Cash is King hasn't been doing it, and we're all kind of lost. Here, trucker news. We're just gonna swipe on the old phone here because everything that comes up in my damn feed is trucking related. Because they know everything about me. A new record of 111 container ships are floating off California's busiest ports, despite Biden's 24/7 schedule and looming fines. Goes back to my point I made, I don't know, 650 million times that whatever they do to try to solve this is going to make it worse. I mean, we can solve it between us. These morons from the government step in, start imposing fines and blah, 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 and time restrictions. They're going to make it worse. I'm telling you, they can't fix it. They don't know how to fix it. They don't even know how this crap works. Something about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't care about that. Uber sued by the Justice Department for overcharging disabled people. Well, how do you like that? How do you like that? Isn't autonomy great? Like, I know they're not autonomous vehicles, but the whole billing system and everything it doesn't know if you're disabled. It doesn't know what. So if you're in a wheelchair and it takes you 10 minutes to get in a car and they overcharge you because it took too long, that's illegal. You're discriminating against somebody because they're disabled. And we can't do that. Said Oh, Department of Transportation's budget is being increased by 50%. What are they going to do with all that money? Tell you what, they're probably going to get back at us in a big way because they never fix a damn thing. The roads. Um, Boy, there's a whole bunch of non-trucking stuff in here today. Who cares? Um, what else we got going on? Now that I keep saying the word trucking, I'm sure it'll all pop up. Estimate your car payment. No, screw that. Let's go back to the comments. That's way more interesting than Google News. What do they know? First Gen Trucking. It's a new name in here. Do you think a guy can make a good living running a 1980 Mac, pulling a step deck? Thoughts on old trucks doing regional work? I like it, man. Especially right now with the parts shortages, you can usually get all the kinds of parts you need for these older trucks. Make sure you have a good skill set as far as like wrenching on stuff a little bit. I'm assuming you do, if you're even considering it. But I drive a pre-emissions truck myself, and I find it pretty rewarding to learn stuff and learn how to do stuff on there. But just keep it legal, keep it safe. That's the biggest thing. If you can stay out of trouble with the DOT, a lot of times the older stuff is more reliable. Fuel mileage is going to suck. That's probably a mechanical. I don't know what you got in there for a motor if it's an updated motor, but there's so many other benefits that can come with it. Plus, oh, you saw the hat. I paid $45,000 for this hat. Apparently, they don't. You don't get a free hat. It came with a truck. The fifth truck I bought from that place. They finally gave me a damn hat. I feel like they should give me a lot more. Jackknife TV in the house. Thanks for coming in. Not that bad. Dunkirk, New York to Hazleton, PA. 275 miles, 2,900. Ice cream. I just bought some 3 1/4 diesel over here at the Indian truck stop. Yes. Okay. I did not say. Okay. So there are still places in the country that are very hot. Um, so that's great. Okay. That encourages me that this is kind of short term finagling. Like maybe they're what was positioning themselves for the holidays. They're trying it in softer markets. Who knows? But absolutely, there are still places in this country that are very hot. Now, the freight going into those places that are very hot is a lot of times softened because everybody's trying to get there because it's so hot. That that upstate New York area, I find that very interesting. Historically, upstate New York, Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, uh, you know, Baldwinsville, Johnstown. Historically, that area sucks a bag of rocks. It has been some of the best paying freight through this whole thing, and I don't know why. Maybe just volumes are so high right there. They make a lot of stuff, a lot of dairy up there. I am sending a truck up there this weekend, as a matter of fact, getting a good weekend load out of there. So that's a good area. They're saying Colorado's picked up a little. Texas sucks. Oh man, does Texas suck? Um, where else was Arkansas is pretty good. Of course, the upper Midwest is almost always good, so that's pretty hot right now. But yeah, it's. I'm not saying freight sucks everywhere. Maybe some of you hadn't experienced it, but send a truck to Texas. You're not looking at the same kind of rates you were looking at 3 months ago out of there. And some places in the South, a lot of them have softened. Of course, the usuals. Florida's kicks rocks, but you know, it's always going to be seasonal. Some places are always just seasonal, produce and such. Grade 8's Transportation says RTS Pro in the App Store or Google Play Store. Thank you for that tip. So if you want to check credit worthiness of brokers for free, RTS offers that. I happen to hate RTS as a company. They email me once a month trying to get me to sell their damn fuel card, offering me a boatload of money to do it. But I just hate the company so bad I can't. Uh, uh, they are a cheap broker. They are one of the cheapest brokers out there, and I hate that. And I'm suspicious of some activity that they do, being a brokerage and also a factoring company. Uh, I'm not going to make any allegations because who knows, they might also be litigious. But there's some very shady things and possibilities that you could do if you own a brokerage and also a factoring company. Think about it. Uh, think about, and I'm not accusing him of doing it. I'm just saying probably the possibility is there, and that's probably why you see him pimping all this cheap freight all the time. So East Texas trucker is doing his 34 at the casino tonight. Stay away from that one-armed bandit, man. Stay away. It'll get you. East Texas, or East Africa said, "What's good? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it." Uh, Fate Trucking says, "Put it all on black at the casino there, East Texas." What does Foxtrot Juliet Bravo stand for? FJB? I don't know. I'm not military. I'm not military. FJB. Oh, I get it now. I get it. I'm a little slow, but I got it. Foxtrot Juliet Bravo FJB. Uh, I prefer the just come out and say it. I think we're to that point where we need to not care about people's feelings. I won 550 last week. Put $10 and hit on zero and hit. Every time I walk into the casino, I walk out. I put a $10 bill in there and lose it. It bothers me for a week. I'm so cheap that way. Um, okay, people getting to know each other. Oliver 880 says I bought this 1855 Oliver a couple of weeks ago and sold it 2 days later. It made $1,500. I wanted to fix it up. I'm a trucker and I'm lazy now. That's awesome. I like working on that older. I have some that are fully restored, and then I have some that are projects for later. Maybe some when I retire, and then a few I would sell. I have a couple just for parts, and some of them I'm going to use when I get around to it. Jerome Jones is late. What did you miss? That's a $180 late fee. Lineage Logistics rules in here tonight. Appreciate it. I'm just kidding. We're talking about trucking. Vicky says you're sassy tonight. I am, feeling a little sassy. Had maybe a little bit too much caffeine today. It was a rough day. After I got done with the office stuff, I went out and I chopped and stacked some firewood for a couple hours, just trying to get the stress out of me. It was a stressful day. It was. Uh, it's a little easy. 361. Thank you. for 19.99 super chat. I sure do appreciate that. Thank you. Jackknife TV says PA new authority through Progressive with a reefer unit and reefer breakdown 10,000 a year with a flatbed 12,000 a year. I've had my CDL since 2013. Okay, yeah, it's a very individualized thing. The other gentleman may have been new, maybe things on the record. Who knows? Who knows? But are you coming from Buffalo, New York, or are you coming from New York City, New York, uh, Albany, New York, or Rochester, New York? Imagine there's some differences. That's why it's hard to say one firm thing about insurance because it's so personal. East Africa says, "I want to be a truck driver. What advice would you give me?" If you want to do it, do it. I mean, um, try it. There's a good living there. If you can handle the lifestyle, give it a try. Um, Try anything you want to do in life. Leave no doubts on the table. When you're old and on your deathbed, you don't want to say, "What if? Could I have done that?" At least if you fail, you know. MF and Truck and Mark says stays in a man's truck. Okay, I'm a little behind. Vic Madden now says, "What up, bro? Thanks for coming in, Vic. Appreciate that." Me and you gotta. I don't know if you got my email, Vic. I'd like to get set up a time for us to chat in a live stream one time. Just me and you. I'd like to. I think that you have a lot to offer. I'd like to pick your brain, ask you questions, because one thing about this trucking thing is there's no one way to do everything. I might do things one way, Vic does things another way, and there's good to be had on both sides. And I'd like to hear, you know, Vic's stance and thoughts on things because he's a smart guy. He's built a business there too. And if you haven't checked out his channel, check out Vic Med. You definitely need to. Bruce says, I can't help but feel that demand to repair the supply chain will keep rates up for first quarter. I'd like to think so too. Um, you know what? People are starting to care about it though. And I think public sentiment is going to turn against us. Despite a lot of people think that they see truckers as heroes. We were heroes during this whole shutdown thing. Uh, they got to blame somebody. Who's the easy target? Who's the easy target? It's us. We always take the blame for everything. They're going to start to blame us, and then people are going to cry out, "Get these truck drivers to stop gouging." Well, hey, how about if we can get a trailer dealer to stop gouging $100,000 for a brand new dry van? Nobody's screaming about that except for us, but nobody listens to us. So the blame's got to fall somewhere. Well, better place than us. It always seems to be where it freaking lands, right? Uh, the large trucking companies can blame a driver shortage on us. They don't have to take the responsibility for mismanagement and so forth. It's easier just to say we don't have enough truck drivers. Too bad you got 600% a year turnover, 300% a year turnover. It's a driver shortage, right? No accountability. Any news on AB5? All I've heard, the last thing I heard is that's the Supreme Court they refused to hear the case in court. So that's the last I've heard. That should just be set aside for now. There's bigger issues. That's ridiculous that we're even having that argument about them doing AB5 right now. Just can it, kick it to the side, and maybe another day. Well, hopefully not another day. Hopefully never. But I don't know. Peaches and Grease in the house. Haven't seen you in a while there. What's been going on with you? When are you going to make another video, Peaches and Grease? It's been a long time. Hope all is well. Glad to finally drop in. Okay, glad you came in. Cassius King says, "Oh, who would have ever thought it would have been a bad idea to put a mayor of Gary, Indiana, in charge of everything? Our political system hurt this more than it helps us." Mayor from Gary, Indiana, president from Arkansas. Yeah, we've picked some people from the worst parts of the country. Sometimes, haven't we? Why don't what we need is somebody maybe a transportation secretary from Detroit, where they in Michigan, where they had some of the worst roads in the country. Voted, not just my opinion, but voted perennially some of the worst roads in the country. What are you seeing? A softening of the market. I'm seeing about $3 a mile van and flatbed on load boards. I've never run load boards, but I'm about to start. What's the realistic amount to bid over price listed? That's a big question, Harvey. Softening of the market in some places. Yes, some places are softening. Some places are strong as ever. Um, some places are going up, like Minnesota right now. Damn, Minnesota's on fire. It's on fire. Um, from the East Coast back to the Midwest, it's still better than usual, but it's a little soft. Texas has just sucked. Ugh, Texas they've come down. What else? Midwest is still pretty good. Northwest is still pretty hopping. I mean, California, but you got problems now in California and some of these port places where they're having all these issues of them canceling loads. Like I'm seeing loads cancel all the time. Uh, I tell you what, since I stopped using certain brokers, had way less problems with loads canceling. I'm sorry, but it's an issue. We have loads canceled, and they just say we're not paying it, even though you have a contract, but it doesn't really matter. What is a good amount to bid over price listed? We talked about that last time in the last live stream. It's a matter, and I'm not trying to dodge your question. You really, really have to know the lanes and what the market is, what the volumes are, what the demand is, what the supply is. And over time, you just kind of pick those things up. Is it what you could get 3 months ago? Like if you called on a $2,000 load and you could talk them up to 3,000, that might have softened. I mean, you might get a couple $100, but like today, man, nobody wanted to freaking budge today. They're like, nope, we're not paying it. Uh, Asking for $200 more than what they're. Nope, we're firm on this. And sure enough, that load would go. I watch the load board all the time. That load would be gone 10 minutes later. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Gary did his first port load. All right, good for you. Vic says Biden spoke to Walmart, UPS, FedEx. These companies don't go into the ports. They stay parked outside the ports and wait for owner ops to bring in the containers from the ports. Okay. I saw they were like, I know Home Depot bought their own container ship and they're going to start hauling their own containers. But I heard today that some of these companies are hiring smaller ships to go out to some of these ships in the ports and unload some containers onto them. But then how are they getting those things unloaded? Or are they must be taking them to different ports? I don't even know if that's true. Just I heard that. I can't imagine that would work trying to unload containers from a bigger ship onto a smaller one out in the harbor. I can't imagine there's not rules against that, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. Yellow-haired girl says I'm heading to North Carolina to pick up a cheap truck. Wish me luck. Well, good luck. Best of luck. I hope that works out for you. Jamie O says, "Gee, I'm a subscriber. I guess I need to think US. Thank you for your advice." What do you need to think about, Jamie? Oh, thank channel member, by the way. Thank you. I know you're a supporter. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, but Jamie, you're a businessman. You know how things work. So I think you've thought a great deal about it. Jackknife TV says I forgot to add that load is booked through Night Swift. I hope I'm not giving out my secrets, but I figured you'd know it'd be a little more insight. Yeah, I tell you what, for as much grief as people give to Swift, when they broker out a load, man, they broker out a load. They put some good rates on that thing. Um, I cannot book a load through Night Swift. I used to haul for Night regularly. I've hauled for him before. Gary Bates might want to know this, and some of the others. As a lot of you know, I got brokerage authority earlier this year, thinking just I might use it. I tried to use it, hired somebody, didn't work, blah blah blah. Thought we'll just put that aside, let it age, so I get a credit rating someday. And when I have time, maybe bigger, whatever, I can take over and do something with it. Well, they look at that when they pull you up on DAT and other places. Do you have any affiliation with a brokerage? And Knight Swift says, since I have affiliation with a brokerage, even though I've not done anything with it, they won't give me a load because they're afraid I'm going to double broker their loads. And they said once I get to 10 trucks, then they'll give me a load. But between 1 and 10 trucks, no load for you. So that sucks. That really sucks because I've hauled for them before. Shouldn't even be a problem. But that's what they do. That's what they do. Cassius King says Arkansas rates looking really good. Yeah, Arkansas's doing really well right now. $2,000 in Salisbury, Maryland, to Dunkirk to the Purina. Good news. Good news. Yeah, and you might find, like I said, East Coast to the Midwest was soft. Okay, well, say Maryland to New York might still be really strong. You can still catch a good rate out of that area. It just might not be good to a different destination. So if you don't care where you go, you can snag a good rate. But people got to get home. If you have customers or service, people got to get back to certain areas, or hey, I got to come back and get whatever. It's says I also haven't seen too much 5,000 load to Chicago to New Jersey lately either. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you still 4,000 or 3,500 is a good rate, but you're not seeing that 5,000 or 5,500 like we were a couple months ago. Some people are gonna panic, like, oh my god, I can't make a living off of less than 5,000 because that's what they were used to. I'm like, just calm down. Like if you know your numbers, been doing this for more than a couple weeks, like you should know, like it's still good. Everything's gonna be okay. The world's not ending. Sometimes rates will go soft for a week just for no reason in preparation for a holiday or whatever. It could change next week. It could be gangbusters again. So are we panicking? No, we're not panicking. But you know, we're just talking about it, see what's what. We want to get all the information, forecast, and the numbers before we make any big decisions. But it's just gonna and around holidays is always wonky. Usually a couple of weeks before it'll go a little cheap because they know when a holiday week comes, they're gonna have to pay like crazy to get that freight moved. So, are we having that? Maybe we're having a lot of things. There's so many crazy things in the world right now. You can't pin something on one thing. Phoenix to Oklahoma, 4 grand, 1,100 miles. See, that's pretty good. That's really good. A good friend of mine lives up in Syracuse, New York. He milked 1,700 head and has a total 4,000 head of cows. Dang. He farms about 4,500 acres. See, I thought it was enough work. We farmed 200 acres, milked 60 cows, and maybe at any given time had 80 head or 100 head. I can't imagine. You need a lot full workforce milking that. There's a couple farmers around me that milk 1,000, but they milk around the clock with full staffs. Harvey Weinstein says, "Sorry, I'm late to the show. Sounds like you're addressing market softening. Hope it gets some Viagra soon. Isn't it normal for it to soften around Thanksgiving?" Yeah, yeah. We're just talking about that holiday. And in this year, holiday freight started way earlier. We've been hauling holiday freight for months because places are so worried they're not going to get their holiday crap in time. Ordered it early, so a lot of it's been hauled. There's still probably plenty to go. You always, food. You can only order food so much ahead of time. Grade 8 says, "I'm not trying to push RTS. I just know they offer broker credit." Yeah, yeah. No. I'm not mad at you for that. I really do appreciate that. Anybody who needs to check broker credit, want to do it for free, check out RTS. You can run broker credit reports without signing up. I wish I'd have known that before. I might have done that. See, we all learned something. We all learned something. Um, but I got 1.99% factoring. Uh, so if I want to use it, it's not the end of the world. But like I said, it adds up. So you know, uh, well, we got 7 trucks on the road. Say they all gross 250,000 a year times 0.0199. If I factored everything, I'd be looking at 35 grand a year for factoring fees. And That's my wages, and sometimes that's all that's left, and that's the whole wages to hire somebody if I wanted to. So I'm not ready to take that step yet. I'm not there yet. Oh, plus I didn't say um my whole factoring ordeal. I said I factored my first load. I forgot to say the doggone first time ever I got a chargeback from a broker. $250 for a rescheduling fee. Freaking, and it wasn't even our fault. They didn't have an appointment set when we booked the load for delivery. It was days away. It was a cross country load. Appointments were days away. Well, when they finally booked it, they didn't ask, "Hey, can you make this appointment?" They just booked it. And then we said, "Hey, fella, that's a solo run. We're not a team." And he pitched a fit, man. He called me everything but a white man, pretty much, and had to reschedule it. Charged me $250, and then the bro. So I actually owe. I have a negative balance with the factoring company right now. I suppose I ought to run something through there to pay them before they come after me or something. I don't know, but whatever. We'll get to it. Adventurer Carlo, thanks for coming in. Good job on your new channel there, bringing it along. Georgia Patriot says, burning through my shift clock at Anheuser-Busch Cartersville for the load that keeps me moving out 2 hours at a time. Okay. All right. What you gonna do if you run out of hours in Cartersville? We spent some quality time at the Anheuser-Busch in Cartersville. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Oliver 880 says, I'm not going to the Potawatomi Casino until they open up the buffet. All right. Have you ever been to that casino up in there? Is it Pulaski on 29? Old Highway Y exit. Go in there and have breakfast, man. Oh, you'll be glad you did. Be glad you did. Cassius King says Capstone sucks. I hear tell there's a Cassius King Capstone sucks T-shirt in the merch store. I checked out your new merch. Loving them T-shirts, man. They're funny. Why can't I think of that stuff? Uh, those should be sold out. Happy Veterans Day tomorrow to any vets here. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. Good evening, Mark Cerrone. Thanks for coming in. I see Schneider National is letting independent contractors run dedicated accounts now. We have a couple helping out on our account. Why wouldn't they not? You mean people that are not leased onto them? I mean, if you're an owner operator leased onto them, I couldn't see why they wouldn't have you on dedicated accounts. You talking about outside carriers through the brokerage on dedicated accounts? Um, can't see how that would hurt as long as they provide good service. Maybe they must have not done that before. East Texas says, I talked to a buddy of mine at Swift. Apparently, they have already told their drivers they will not be enforcing the mandate. Good, good. I don't think mandate, no mandate. I don't care if it's a good idea to get it, a bad idea to get it. I don't think there's any place for employers to be enforcing that. Um, it's not what an employer is there for, what they're supposed to do. Live with no regrets. Just don't get that tattooed. Okay. No regrets. Bloodstripe Trucking says inflation will be the crash of trucking. It's the administration's next pandemic. Oh, they full steam ahead with it though, isn't it? Full steam ahead. Jackknife says, "Did you hear that truck driver in New Jersey won the state senator seat? Only spent $150. He won because he ran as a Republican." I was talking about my wife, talking about that with my wife the other day, and I said, if you wanted to get elected, all you got to do is find a race where a Democrat is running unopposed, and you're probably going to win. All you got to do is get your name on the ballot. BOC says, "Know your worth and acknowledge your value." Yeah, yeah. So what about when you know your worth, but you just can't? So if you're worth $10 a mile, and you can't get $10 a mile, what happens then? Is there any videos about that? Any videos when I'm worth $10 a mile, but I only got like $3.50 a mile? Or is it we only win no matter what? Thanks for coming in, BOC. Good to see you. Checking out those live streams. How's that new Freightliner working out? You get that smell out of there? Jackknife says, I'll say I was thinking about starting another YouTube channel and maybe putting her money where our mouth is. If you got 55 million Americans to stop paying taxes, that sure put a hurt on JB. Uh, we can't get 55 million Americans to agree on anything. Uh, Minnesota is hot there, is not bad. I'm getting at Lowe's in Indiana and Illinois. Okay. There you go. Hashtag know your girth, East Texas trucker. That's a BOC's catchphrase. Know your girth. Yeah, yeah. Don't randomly go into Florida and expect to come out with the same rate you went in with. Yeah. So um, what if you're worth $10 a mile and you go to Florida? They're gonna pay you that because that's what you're worth. I don't know. What are my feelings on starting a box truck company? That's been a hot business for all summer, all year. Tell you what, if you're seriously thinking about that, you need to be watching Vic Med's channel because he does that. He started a box. He already has a trucking company. He added a box truck to it this summer, and you'll get to see the ups and downs, ins and outs, the struggles, daily operations. He'll tell you how to get freight for your box truck. You gotta check that out. That's a good source of information. I don't know a lot about box trucks. I don't see them all the time. Plenty of them out there, but that's about it. East Africa says I am 50 years old and I'm too late to become a truck driver at this age. No, no, you're not. There's people that start way later than that. There's people that don't start it until their retirement because that's what they want to do with their retirement. No, I don't believe that. Less cost, fuel, and no trailer needed for the box truck. Yeah, but also less freight you can haul, less revenue. So it's all relative, unless you're that in that expedited life, that FedEx Custom Critical, or there's all kind of expedited freight that needs to go on a box truck. That's money right there. How do I become a channel member? If you go click on my name or go to my channel, right next to the name, there's a join button. Uh, on the iPhone, I don't know how to do it. If somebody uh, can can help them out with that. Oh, Bloodstripe Trucking, new channel member. Thank you. Appreciate that. iPhone is a mystery to me. I know there's a problem with the join button on an iPhone. I think somebody will know how to do it. A lot of ports on the West Coast are actually owned and contracted through China government ran companies, and the boats are also Chinese. Yes, Jackknife, we're going to talk about that this weekend. Paul and I from Freight Connect were talking about that on the phone the other day. And he went, of course, it's what he does. As soon as we talked about it, then I'm getting texts at 3 o'clock in the morning because he went and researched the whole history of sale of the ports that they went through. First, they were Hong Kong. They were owned by the British colonies, and then China took over Hong Kong, and then oh something something was recently ordered to sell, and it's he went through that whole thing, and we're going to try to get into that this weekend. But you are correct. China is heavily involved in our port system. Jackknife says that's the reason they don't go to other ports. Yes, it's a big reason, and it makes me suspicious. I mean, if they wanted to hurt us, that's carte blanche to do it. I mean, they own the ports. They can even make it look like it ain't their fault. How long does your authority have to be active to sign up with Knight Swift? Knight Swift, I don't know what their policy is, but there's plenty of them that will take new authorities. Some require 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year. You just got to ask them when you call. Go on the broker board, find a load posted from them, and call them and ask. They'll tell you. Just trucking had a view of the port of Charleston, near empty. Okay. All right. I take my CDL test next Wednesday. I'm wondering what is the best new CDL orientation training? I don't know. Ask around if anybody's got any advice. Cash is King has a lot of good information on that. It's subjective. What I don't think that I don't necessarily think Prime is a good place to start for training. Just the way they treat their trainers, making them pay your wages and all that crap. I think that's kind of low down. But probably a lot of really good places for a new entrant to start. And if you're thinking about buying your own truck right away, please just at least give it a few months. You might find out you hate it. You might hate the job and you're stuck with a $150,000 truck. Then what? And if it's a walk away one, you put a bunch of money into it and you could have just drove it and walked away, drove somebody else's. Plus, you're going to make mistakes. Make those mistakes on somebody else's dime. At least give it a few months. A little bit of experience goes a long ways, even towards insurance. So, waiting for next year when all the YouTube videos come out, trucking is dead when they can't make the payments on the overpriced equipment they bought this year. Richard, I'm glad you said that because I don't want to. I no desire to start a beef with anybody or a YouTube war with anybody, but gosh dang it, it needs to be said. Uh, a lot of them didn't pop up until after the pandemic was over. Uh, what did you have to say during last year when rates were dog crap? I mean, a lot of people disappeared and hung out at home on PPP money, but is what it is. And some people, that's the only way they were learning. I have had disagreements. So some people in my chat, other people have argued that um, this is the new normal. Blah blah blah. Nothing is forever, nor should it be. Otherwise, everything would be. They say level playing field, but what a lot of people mean is they want equal outcome. We can't guarantee outcome. Outcome. That's what communism does. And socialism tries to do. Equal outcome is not guaranteed. Miami was $1 a mile today. Miami to Atlanta, 665 miles, rate $600. Yeah, exactly. So they don't care that fuel is $4 a gallon, do they? That's what I'm saying. Market prevails. Market will prevail. And it doesn't. I don't like it. It doesn't matter if we like it. It's what it is. If they got used to those $5,000 loads and they just jumped on the boat, they probably got one of those 2014 600,000 mile Cascadias at 70,000 too. Yeah, yeah. That's why if people saying, "Is it too late to get in? Is it this?" I don't know. Like I wish I had a crystal ball. It would help my decisions be a lot hell easier. But the equipment market is getting to the point where it doesn't make any sense. It does not make sense to pay $100,000 for a new dry van. And somebody posted, I don't remember who the hell it was. Might have been, was it Nevada? Posted that the other day, an ad from a trailer place, 100 grand for a new dry van. Doesn't make sense in any market. By the time you make that up, I guarantee the market's going to change, and then you're stuck. I mean, you're stuck. You're really stuck, and if things turn south, you're in a lot of trouble. It's are we to the point where it doesn't make sense? I don't know, but we're closer than we were yesterday. That's for sure. So, um, okay, saw that. Gossip on YouTube this week was training on a manual finally come to an end. Is that true? I I would train you on a manual. Train you either way. Like hell, if you need drivers, you do what you got to do to get them. Like I'm sure at some point manual transmissions will be a special order. I think Volvos and maybe Max are already like that. Like, when's the last time you saw a manual transmission in a Volvo, unless it was an older one? Um, but there's still plenty of them out there. Like a long nose Pete, I don't know. There's too many of the long nose Pete's out there with an automatic in them. you know. Cindy McDonald says, "What's your opinion on power only?" Power only has been hot this year. It's been very hot. Historically, power only, it's always been around. It doesn't typically pay great. It's paying really well because the demand is there. I mean, Amazon, as soon as they can stop paying good rates, they will. But hey, they're coming into their holiday rush. Holiday contracts are open. They're paying, but they're going to pay well. They need trucks, but as soon as they can, they'll squash it. Um, Power only around me sucks. Like where I live, Wisconsin, even the Amazon power only by me sucks. So I don't touch it. But there are areas like the Northeast, I know, the Amazons and stuff out there, they're busy. They're busy. By me, not it's not great. The Amazon by me is near Chicago, and freight out of Chicago is there's so much that they have a hard time drawing people away. But it's in my neck of the woods. It's not great. Uh, yep, Old 29 Cafe, Oneida Travel Center. That's the one. Tell you what, you go in there and you get a breakfast, a plate or platter, and that sucker is this big with a pile of crap on it this high. My God, it's make you want to go take a nap. All right, Bruce, we talked about that one. Best companies for new drivers. I don't know. Pick something close to where you live. Ask around. I know that's what you're doing is asking around. If anybody's got some input for Bruce on a good place to get training as a new company driver, lay it out there for him. Lay it out there. Oliver, so I picked up a load at R.R. Donnelly one time in Baraboo, Wisconsin, and just down the road, I spent the night at Ho Chunk Casino. They have really good truck parking, and they pick you up at the truck. Okay. Yeah, casinos, man. I tell you what, they will feed the hell out of you. That's the one thing I miss about going out west. You always used to stop in Vegas or somewhere in Nevada or in New Mexico on at Rio Puerco or whatever, and just put the feed bag on, man. I tell you what, it's probably part of the reason why I look the way I do today. Uh, mandates can end with a pain in the butt. Wait, did I read that right? Mandates can end with a pain in the butt. Depends on who's on top. All right, you're right. Is that how the gear shifter got lodged where it did? Cash is king. If you can't get your worth, sit tight. The patient always wins. I disagree with you, Mark. And not, I don't hate you. I ain't mad at you, but the strategy for the last year and a half is to get the good money. You book the last minute loads. You wait till they're in a position where they need you and they got to have a truck. Well, guess what? When volume's down, you wait till the end. You can get stuck with nothing. That 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 strategy does not always work, and I understand it works right now. I get it. Done a fair bit of it myself. Done done a lot of it in this day and age. But when the worm turns, when freight is hopping and busy like it has been, the strategy is to wait. When things suck, freight is slow, you got to book ahead of time because the loads won't be, they get sucked up. Like I'm watching the broker board out of Pennsylvania today, wanting to come back to the Midwest. And as fast, they're just gone, 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 gone. Okay. So uh, there's a time, and a strategy for everything. Uh, the sitting type probably still works right now. It probably really does. But it's kind of like going to Florida, you know, right now, where you could sit tight in Florida, and just that good paying load's not going to come right now. I mean, that can apply anywhere. There's a time and a place for everything. The box truck would probably do well during a holiday season. Yeah, I agree. That's like FedEx takes on subcontract. I think most of those package places will take on subs, I believe. Oh, Harvey Weinstein, thanks for all the info and encouragement. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Harvey. $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Vic Med says he just got my email. Okay, boy, I must be pretty behind here in the chat. Uh, Bruce is turning 62 tomorrow and getting a CDL next week. So yeah, East Africa. I know you're 50, but this guy's 62 and doing it for the first time. So awesome. Mark Cerrone says, "Am I a member?" It does not have a member icon next to your name. You don't have to. I don't expect anybody to be, but hey, um, I'm 50. Just got my authority. Tough start. Historically, it's a good. Over the last year, it has been a great, maybe the best time ever to get your new authority. You're coming into the hottest freight market ever by far. Now, when people say this is the hottest freight market ever, like they leave off that last part, by far, above and beyond anything people have ever seen. So it just tells how exceptionally hot it's been. And veterans get free meals tomorrow. Okay, at the truck stops. What do you do? Okay, there's not a lot of truck stop restaurants open anymore. I know they used to give out a lot of them to do free Thanksgiving dinner too. There we go. Cassius King says if you're having trouble with the join button on your iPhone, borrow a friend's Android. Okay, a true friend has an Android. Just saying. LTL reefer box truck would probably be awesome right now. Maybe that LTL reefer stuff is tricky, man. Unless you're picking it all up at the same place. But to do multiple picks with a reefer, you're dealing with all these different temperatures, and everybody wants their seal intact. It gets a little bit difficult. Um, Mark Cerrone says no time limit for Night Swift. Okay, that's good to know. Put them on the new authority checklist there. Yeah, Freight Chuggin says tip your host. He's in an outhouse for crying out loud. Yeah, times are tough. This is where we're living these days. Right in the outhouse here. Um, Covenant Transport is a great training company. Okay, honestly, that's a company I know nothing about. You don't hear a lot about Covenant, or I don't, anyways. But I don't hear a lot about any company. Um, Crete is a good place to start. Oh, Nomadic Brit, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Crete is a good place to start. I've heard good things about Crete lately. Sounds like they've really stepped up pay. Oh, Mark, appreciate that. 49.99 super sticker. I appreciate that, man. And I just disagreed with you too. I'm sorry. I ain't mad at you. If you're a new driver, I would go with a company that doesn't push you to lease onto them. If you live in Wisconsin, I would go with Schneider National. Well, there you go. I hear a lot of good things about Schneider as a company driver. Not a lot as an owner operator, but I hear a lot good as a company driver. Yeah, and if they're pushing you right off the bat to be a lease driver, there's a reason for that. I know of a couple people that went to orientation out in Salt Lake City to a certain company out there. Go all the way through orientation for be a company driver, and then they get to the end and say, "We don't have any trucks available. It's going to be weeks before we get a truck in here for you, but we could offer you this as a lease purchase driver." I know two people that they did that too, and I'm like, "Is that policy? Is that how they do everybody? Because that's kind of dirty. It's kind of dirty." Oh, Truck and Mo Biz in the house. Thanks for coming in. I'm putting one of my drivers over the road this winter, probably pulling dry van because that's what I have for a trailer. Any advice? Do it. You Truck and Mo Biz, you are in the nirvana of freight land. Just do it. Like you're a smart guy, you know what you're doing. Yeah, everybody check out Truck and Mo Biz's channel. That is a good channel. That's a smart dude. Built a business, went out, got, talking to people, got cut, and channel should be bigger, but I know you're too busy to make videos these days. I'm suffering the same fate here. Cali fuel will eat you up. You got that right. You darn sure got that right. Why are Miami brokers not acknowledging my value? Maybe they are. Maybe you have an overinflated sense of value. Maybe you're only worth 98 cents a mile, cash. Just saying. You're funny. You're funny. If you're a new driver, don't get roped into going onto a dollar account. Oh, you mean like Dollar General? You'll tear up equipment and ruin your driving record. I've seen this happen numerous times. Okay. Yeah, everybody has nothing good to say about them Dollar General accounts. I've never done it. I think you gotta fingerprint a lot of it. Vic Med says, I just think people can't adapt to change. Just make it happen when change hits you. Make it profitable to you and your business. Yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice. And be versatile, be open minded, always be willing to learn something. I'd buy that 100. Cassius King says I'd buy that $100,000 dry van. It'll be worth 150 next year. Hey, it might be. I tell you what. Where is the limit with these things? I mean, so here's what I went through in the last 2 weeks. I've been trying to buy a couple more reefer trailers. Now I'm not okay. Trailers are overpriced. So anybody knows you buy a trailer right now, you're gonna overpay. But I will not be gouged. I'm not buying a 2014 for $75,000 like I'm seeing. So I found these ones for $34,900 in Omaha. Oh, 33.9. I'm sorry, they're 33.9. I called him on a Friday, and he says I sold those ones. I got ones being dropped off every day. We got some coming in over the weekend. Same trailers. Call me on Monday. I'll sort through them, see what I got. So I call him Monday. I think I talked about this last week. Called him Monday, and yeah, he had some come in. Here's the specs. Blah blah blah. Oh, but now instead of 33.9, they're 48.9. I'm like, are you $15,000? You raised the price over the weekend. So I said, you priced me out of it, dude. I'm out. Good luck. I know you'll sell them, but not to me. So I looked around to a different place, and I'm not gonna say where because we're still working on it. Had some trailers, some trades coming in, and they're not. They're good enough. I figure I put 5 grand into them, maybe. Whatever, that's fine because they're not gouged so bad. 34.9 for those, and they're selling out same day. So if you want one, you got to speak for it over the phone. Put $1,000 down. Blah blah blah. So I called him one day. He took some pictures. He sent them. I'm like, okay, I want that one. He says it's reserved. I call back later in the day to make my deposit, and he says another salesman sold it. I said, but you said you reserved it for me. He's like, yeah, we got 10 salesmen here. Things are crazy. We're just selling stuff. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So go find me another one. So he goes and finds me another one. Got a big old hole in the side, up at the top along the rail, right next to an upright. I says, nobody's gonna want that trailer like that, dude. I says, I need to know, is that structural? Did he catch the upright there, or is it just through the skin? A little bit of damage to the rail. He said, I'll go check. So he goes check it. We really can't tell. I said, well, then I don't want it because that could be a $10,000 repair. Found this other one, and I'm like, okay, I want that one. He says, yeah, this is the same day, mind you. This is all in one day. Um, so the guy that's trading them in called us and said another trailer dealer came in and offered us the price that you guys were retailing them for. So we need $5,000 more. I'm like, gosh, damn it! And I've been looking enough to know that it's still below market of what things are going to be. So 38.9. The other place went up to 48.9. I'm like, damn it, damn it. Well, okay, I'll pay it because I need I want a trailer. You're still reasonable, and so I put money down on it. They sold the damn thing anyway. I had 2 trailers sold out from under me last week that I put money down on, and they sold them anyway. And then another guy, I was going to Indiana last weekend to look at a trailer, and the guy said, I'll hold it for you until tomorrow. So I called him in the morning. Yeah, I sold it last night. I'm like, damn it. So I'm like, I guess I don't blame you. Somebody shows up with a check, you should take it. But like, it's becoming a frenzy, and a frenzy, it'll get out of control. Like auctions, I wouldn't even go to an auction right now. It's like a school of piranhas ganging up on something and just devouring it, and nobody knows where to stop. Like you got to know where people get all caught up. Like this is all I can get. I got to have it. I'll run it. They run it so high. I'm like, just you got to have a limit. So here I am, stuck with no more trailers. But I won't pay that because especially on a reefer, pay 75 grand for a 2015 with 15 to 18,000 hours on it. It's gonna soon need maybe a compressor and some other work and blah 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 blah. You got no room for repairs. Reefers take a lot of maintenance compared to a dry van, so you gotta leave yourself some room. Uh, and I'm not willing to do that. Pop Tart Gone Truck and says waiting till things go back to normal to buy truck. Prices are ridiculous. Yes, you're right. You watch MSNBC video that they were trying to make sense of the driver shortage, and they said that the trucking industry is fractured into small companies and should be narrowed down. Communism. Yeah, the government would love that. It's way easier to control 5 mega companies than 300,000 small companies. Who just did that? Mark, $99 super chat. Holy cow! Thank you. You don't need to do that. I do appreciate it though. You know, not getting to make a lot of content these days, so the channel's dying a slow death, but we're gonna try to work on that. Member of viewer of the evening there, Mark Cerrone. Mike Balboa says, I'm sorry, Mike Borba says Utah is hot for loads. Yeah, I hear tell they're bringing a lot of containers up to Utah for distribution. So, is it true? I don't know, but you got to compete with surround. That's why, okay, Florida during produce season makes Georgia rates go up. Okay, when Florida's not in produce season, most people bounce up to Georgia, the Carolinas for a load, so they can lower rates. Just kind of the same out there with California and Washington, Oregon being so hot. Utah's got to pay to draw trucks in, otherwise people go elsewhere. So it's a competition in your own market, is what it is. Chicken Holler says my Tyson location got new day cab max this year, all 10-speed manuals. The OTR fleet is auto, but trucks going to farms are still manual. Okay. I wonder if that's because they maybe figure you're going to get stuck sometimes. By the way, Chicken Holler, if you work for Tyson directly, are they enforcing that where they're making you get the jab? I'm just curious. This research. Ryan Brandenburg, thanks for coming in. You're a little late. You're a little late. Oh, Nevada's late too. Late fees all over the place. Reefer rules. Mark Cerrone says you should hit me up. I can always get you out of PA making good money. All right. Email me. Email me. DIYSemi@yahoo.com. I got trucks out there all the time, especially in the Allentown area, Bethlehem, uh, that whole area, even Jersey. It's never on the board though. Okay. All right. Maybe we can do a little give and take. I don't know if I got anything to offer you, but you got a network. You got a network. Um, what's your tire pressure specs for all tires? Everybody has their own. I like running my steers about 115, 110 in the summer in the heat. See, I don't get in the hot heat like down in the south. So I don't worry as much about that as some should. Um, I like I like my drives at 110 and I like my trailers. Eh, I'm flexible on that. Some of them I like at 100, some of them I like at 110. Couple I got one trailer that's eating tires right now, but it's got a Meritor suspension under it. I'm thinking about sliding a Hendrickson under there. That Meritor, if I can help it, I'm never buying another Meritor suspension. I had nothing but problems. Um, Gus says, "Nice, my favorite background." All right, we're just chilling in the outhouse. How Jerome Jones, channel member, says, "Question on how does someone do business with FedEx Ground?" FedEx is kind of a unique company. There's a FedEx has contracts, obviously, with their contractors. You can build a fleet inside FedEx, bid lanes, and you own those lanes. Occasionally, these lanes go for sale, but you got to have what are they? I don't know, some kind of like they have a point system. FedEx does where you got to meet certain criteria to buy these lanes, but some of them you can. I don't know exactly how it works. I just know that it can be very lucrative, and occasionally you'll see FedEx lanes go for sale, and you have to buy them from other contractors. You can also like lease on FedEx. Uh, I don't know if somebody here has experience with that. Put it all out there if you're interested, because I know that FedEx contracting can be pretty lucrative. Good Wisconsin starter company is Midwest Carriers. Okay. Oh, not a fan of Schneider. All right. Nomadic Brit says hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Mac also says hit the thumbs up. Oh, we got a lot of people slapping fives here. Mark says 10-4 to pushing owner operators, truck shortage. Okay. Lionel Lawson says TA, Applebee's, etc. Check online first for advertisement. Oh, for the free meals for veterans. Okay. Don't go pretending to be a veteran. That's kind of low. Getting out of hand with equipment. Call me Cooley in here. Thanks for coming in. Says getting out of hand with equipment prices. You got that right. I know you've been getting those reefers with the roll up doors, man. I wish my customers would load them. I'd buy the crap out of them but some of the customers I got won't freaking load them because there's a lot of roll up door reefers available. But I talked to a couple of people wondering, can I run, you know, general freight OTR with roll up doors? I'm like, I run into a lot of places that won't load a roll up door. So I'd just say if you got something pretty regular, it's a lot more feasible. And I know Cooley what you do, that works for you. Man, I wish it could work for me. Make life a lot easier. And places could load a roll up door. They don't need to be like that. Mark Cerrone again with the super chat there. Appreciate it. Thank you. Nevada says Noah guy just got an international with the Cummins, 349,000 miles for 89K. That's more reasonable than a lot of the ones we're seeing. Trailers are 1 year out. Yeah, a lot of them are more than that. Trucks are more than that. You paid for a year? Okay. Trom says, I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler. Was that Meineke or who was it? I think it was Meineke commercial. I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler. If I remember right, that's, boy, showing my age right there. 111 ship count today in Long Beach. Yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's going to get to the point where they're just not going to send the ships. You can't unload them anyways. And if they're going to penalize them, they're not going to send them. Then you got a whole new problem on your hands. So it's the system is breaking down, is broken. Like Paul from Freight Connect, I think it was the first one to say that he could see that happening. And we're going to get him on this weekend, talk more about that kind of stuff. And give him a little pat on the back for all the great information he gave us through all of this, and see if he has any insight on going forward next through the end of the year, next quarter. I tell you what, if he can tell us what first quarter is going to be like, that's amazing, because I've kind of been in this a long time, and I'm having a hard time making heads or tails of first quarter this year. I think it could go very easily just as go one way as the other. New trailer available for the special low price of $99,950 at Aero Truck Sales of Kansas. Jeepers cripes. That is ridiculous. He likes the international LTs. Okay. Yeah. Call Me Cooley says, sounds like you went through same thing I went through with them Swift trailers. Yeah, you see them all over the place, and then they got like 28,000 for a 2013 reefer with 12,000 hours on it, and you're sitting there getting all excited, and then they show the back of it, and it's a roll-up door. I'm like, damn, you get me every time. But yeah, okay, so you went through that purchasing where they kept swapping them out from under you. Yep. Do I ever research Ritchie Brothers auctions for trailers? I seen a 10-year-old drive 8,000. I used to look. I kind of quit looking right now. It's just so frustrating. And I don't see any bargains to be had at the auctions. A smart guy told me a long time ago. He says an auction is a place you sell your problems. Or auction is a place you sell equipment, not buy equipment, because people send their problems there. It's not always true. Of course, there's fleet dispersals and bankruptcies and blah 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 blah. But especially during recently, last year, whatever, when they wouldn't even let you there to pre-inspect the equipment because of the quarantines and such. No way I was buying a piece of equipment at an auction site unseen. Dealers, one thing, don't even like to do that. I think that's not a great idea, but I understand it legitimately is. When they get trailers in the morning, they're gone at the end of the day. That's real. That's not a sales tactic. So, you know, mm, still a bad strategy, but what are you gonna do? Bloodstripe says it's not a limit, it's a breaking point. Remember the .com boom? Remember the housing crash? By the way, the housing crash, is it happening again? Yeah, I've said quite a few times. uh, remember during the housing boom last time, where people were buying houses sight unseen and flipping them and this and that, never never even seen them. I kind of felt that way, that trucking was kind of going that way this fall for the last few months, where it's a frenzy where people will pay anything they got to pay for equipment, trucks, trailers, whatever it costs to get their own authority, 60,000 a year for insurance, just because I got to get in and I got to get that money, that spot freight money. I kind of felt like that was a sign of, or you go back to go to the .com when you go to your barber and your barber's giving you stock tips, because you can't lose, everything's a win. Kind of felt like trucking's been that way for the last few months. So kind of kind of felt like the top to me. Swollen Plum says, with your wisdom, Nevada, you could get that trailer for 99,949, $1 off. I don't even know if they'd negotiate that dollar. They'd probably take a hard stance for on that dollar. We're shooting for an even 100. Make sure I lock it down. Got to grease the fifth wheel. Yep. What do you think the best market state is for Canadian carriers doing transborder freight? I don't know a lot about that transborder freight. Tell you the truth. That's I don't get involved. I don't go to Canada. Not permitted for that. I'm waiting until the mega carriers start trading in their fleet before buying. Talked a great deal about that with some dealers, trailer and trucks, and it's not happening. They are not turning in freight. In fact, some mega fleets are buying used equipment, which they never do, because they can't get their new equipment until late 2022, and in some cases 2023. They are not turning in used equipment. Now you'll see some here and there, like the place I was looking at, those trailers. They were getting some fleet trades on trailers, but largely it's not happening, and it's largely not going to happen until at least the middle or late next year, because they can't get their new equipment to replace it. Pot price prices are crazy. Yeah. Pneumatic Brit says Schneider sent out a note to contractors saying they are not enforcing the jab. Okay. All right. I don't think it's their job. I really don't. Um, some places are requiring to enter to eat or get food. Yeah, don't go there. Like, I don't even care to have the argument whether you should or you shouldn't, or whether it's good or bad. I don't even care. You got to have your freedom. If you have freedom, you got nothing. But oh, Adventure Carlos smashed the like button. Thank you, thank you. I had that happen with a 9400i I was looking at. Had a rebuild. I put 5,000 deposit down. He only wanted 1,500. Then somebody offered them 6,000 more than what he was asking. I wasn't bidding, so yeah. Wow, money talks right now, man. Well, time really. I mean, right place, right time gets you equipment. Honestly, because everybody's got to pay. We're all paying right now, so you just got to be right place, right time. Okay, Jamie O. Jerome Jones listened to Mike Jones Sunday at 9 a.m. Mike was a FedEx ground for 30 plus years. Okay, that would probably be a great place to learn about that. Jamie O, tell us where to find Mike Jones Sunday at 9 a.m. Is that on the radio? Is that on YouTube? Where do we find Mike Jones? We got to tell Jerome Jones. I have a friend that works at a contractor for FedEx, and they run between Grayslake, Illinois, to Nashville. He gets paid 2,500 a week, as well as other team driver. Okay, that must be a company driver, I'm guessing. FedEx charging for lanes sounds like a gentleman's club charging for the entertainers for stage time. I don't know anything about that. Tools, truck, tractor, and tech with Mike. Mike does a live chat at 9 a.m. Sunday. Okay, sounds like it must be a YouTube channel then. Good deal. Is 100,000 too high for a 2022 Great Dane Prestige with new Thermo King? I ordered it back in August for January delivery. I'm hesitant to part with 100K cash, but cold freight seeing a lot higher prices for new reefers. Can they deliver that to you? Have they not canceled your order? Because they are canceling a lot of orders they cannot deliver, or they don't want to deliver because now they can sell them for more. Seeing most new reefers going for about 129,000. Do I think it's too much to pay? Yes, I do. Would I cancel it? You gotta decide how bad you need that trailer, man. If you need that trailer, 100 is high, but you might have to pay it. I'd have a hard time swallowing that one, but They're only going up. Shoot, I've seen. I think the most expensive reefer I saw was 169.9, and that was a stainless spread with the light package and all that crap that you don't need. I don't know how you recoup that. You'd have to have one hell of a contract and keep that trailer a very long time. Trailer mechanic Meritor is the worst suspension. They will eat tires, and they're getting old now and breaking the ears on the axles. Stay away from those. Yes. So Meritors do chew up tires. The bushings don't last. To rebush a Meritor is expensive, and that won't last. They also have what they call more bushing points. Is that the right way to say it than a Hendrickson? So it's more wear points. Am I saying that right? That's not a word, but whatever. And they have this dog ear that comes down uh, between, like by the tires, like a Y, I guess, kind of. That'll crack and break. So, I aging Meritors do not age well, especially okay if you're heavy and make a lot of tight turns. That's going to be really hard on that Meritor. So, I have one Meritor suspension. The rest are Hendrickson, and I'd prefer now in this trailer market. If you got to have a trailer, if you buy it right, you could slide a new Hendrickson suspension underneath it, take that Meritor out. So I don't know. I'm considering doing that with that one I was looking at for 34.9. I was going to do that too, but now I don't have it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Ryan Brandenburg says there's a non-California compliant Wabash spread axle in McFarland, Wisconsin. Screwed up my buddy's order and didn't make the slide rails correct. Okay. Now is the time to save and save. Then when these prices come down, you can get the best truck. Yeah, a lot of people don't have the patience. They got to have that now. They got to have that money now. But I like that opportunistic strategy you take. Oh, Jeep. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this name. We're gonna call you Mebrit. Thank you so much for YouTube. Make my life easier. Love the information you give. It's helpful. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching. The mega carriers can't get drivers. They'll have to unload some trucks and equipment. Prices will soften. Uber and DoorDash is taking a lot of drivers. That'll be a mega carriers making 40 grand a year. Yeah, that's it's funny that you got to decide between Uber and DoorDash or driving a truck. That DoorDash, Uber and DoorDash money must be good, huh? I don't know nothing about that. But if you can make as much money doing that as you can driving a truck, why drive a truck? Thank you for your information, Jamie O. Yeah, on the FedEx. Richie has junk. Richie Brothers has junk. Okay. With both feet in the house. Channel member, thanks for coming in. Jackknife says, I remember when 10-year-old drive-in trailers were going for $5,000 to $8,000 at Ritchie Brothers. These vans that are these 2010 dry vans that are going for 38,000. I mean, they're $5,000 trailers all day long. Up until last year, they were $5,000 trailers. You could buy them all over the place. If I had a big trucking company and I kept a boneyard, in the back lot that I robbed parts from, I'd start putting parts back on them damn trailers and selling them. Make a mint. Trailer mechanic says we're turning in lease trucks. Okay, that's awesome. If you want to tell anybody where they can get them, you're more than welcome to. Mega carriers are rebuilding crash trailers, says my buddies at Transport Refrigerated. Yeah, there's a medium-sized trucking company near me that's gone in their back lot, and they're pulling trailers out of the weeds and sending them to the utility dealer to get made road ready again. Because even though they have the means, they will not pay $129,000 for a new trailer, which is smart. Which is smart. Henry Darko says, "What do you think about Amazon?" I don't like Amazon. I have a personal grudge against them, but I don't say anybody else has to not like them. Everybody can have their own opinion. I can't stand them personally, but what else we got here? Everyone is still employed at Tyson as of November 1, has been poisoned or at least turned into a shot card. I don't know what that means. I'm in the National Guard and only need 7 more years, so I bit the bullet and got it. Okay. I don't know. Is a shot card, is that like a write up or something? Oh no, a shot card. Duh. Okay. So okay, they have been given the shot or at least turned in a shot card. I got you. I'm a little slow, but we get through it. Georgia Patriot says the load from hell. Someone stole my load bars out of the back of my truck while I've been waiting here. Got to keep an eye on them load bars, man. They'll steal them every time. Swan Plum says there's more to Prime, a truckload more. That's all I know about Amazon. Yeah. Caleb Manuel from Canada, thanks for coming in. Chris C, channel member, thank you. Chris and Becca saying hi from Alabama, and thanks for all the great info. Well, thank you for participating. Uh, Andrew's got to go, or Adventure Carlo's got to go. So have a good night. Henry Darko says can't stand Amazon either, but I still can't get a trailer for 15,000. That's why I'm still messing with Amazon. Yeah, I mean that's a viable option right now. I'd probably take the same strategy. I'm not paying 100,000 for a dry van. I'd just go do some power only till I could get one. That's smart. That shows you got patience. You don't want to go do something stupid just because you have no patience and need instant gratification. Ryan says hit the like button. Thank you. With both feet says I just got started and I'm picky because I still have my daughter at home. I've done Amazon so far. Yeah, it's like I said. I don't tell Amazon other people what they got to think of Amazon. They just I don't know. I sometimes wonder if I'm really 80 years old. I'm kind of old fashioned. I kind of like a lot of things the way they used to be. I don't like that Amazon puts a lot of mom and pops, or not mom and pops, but brick and mortars out of business. I like to go buy things at a store. I don't necessarily like to buy things off the internet. Don't get me wrong, from time to time I do. But you know, it's I don't like their business practices either. But that's my reasons. With both feet says Amazon's load board is a game. Wait till the rate gets okay, but then poof, it's gone. Yeah, I've looked at their load board. I can't make heads or tails of it. All those abbreviations they use, I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of what they mean, and by the time I figure it out, they're gone. So I'm just like, screw this. And I think it's different places are some are busier, some are slower, some have better rates. You're not going to see the volume from Amazon by me is what you are in the Northeast, or probably like I don't know in the Northwest. I assume they're pretty big out there too. Nevada says, "Damn, me and my wife got in the game at the perfect time." All right. Pop Tarts got to go. Any good power only companies you can recommend? Um, boy, that's a lot of big carriers do power only. I tried, man. I did Schneider power only for a short period of time. It wasn't the worst thing out there. I just wanted to try it. For power only at the time, the rates were decent. Tried JB Hunt. It was a nightmare. They were horrible. Um, like I said, a lot of people do Amazon. The convoy thing, I've checked some of the rates with that, but the power only, when I had checked them, they were ridiculous. They were like 90 cents a mile. I'm sure that's probably different now, but I don't even check. Try to find a what do you call it? A company like a not a trucking company, but there's places that need their trailers moved. You know, if you have your own authority, maybe you find a, a department store that has the need for power only to do just their store stuff. That seems to be a pretty good niche to fill, and there's the need for it right now too. Uh, Henry, join us this weekend. We're going to talk to Paul from Freight Connect, and that's what he does is connect people with companies like that, and he's really good at it. So, insurance fixed a trailer we had that hit a bridge, cost 25,000 to fix. Oof. Yeah, I know about that. Uh, it was a dry van. Yeah, I know it costs about 6 grand to put a roof on a reefer. Just the skin, just the skin. No rail damage, no nothing. Just the skin, no insulation. Um, I know that costs that much. Just started renting a trailer for 200 a week. It's an older trailer. What do you guys think? I couldn't find anything else. That seems to be a pretty reasonable rate. 200 a week. Hell, that's a cheap price to pay to put you in the game. When you find a deal on a trailer, you could buy it. I don't have a good time with Landstars when booking a load. Would you give me your opinion about them? Yeah, Landstar is a double-edged sword, man. They have some great agents and they have some awful agents. Uh, I've found that general rule of thumb, not true for all, obviously. The ones that post loads on the load board, if they only post an email address, there's a reason they don't want to talk to you. Now, that is not 100%. That is a generality. Number one, most likely because they are outside of this country and they don't want you to know that, because a vast majority of Landstar agents are outside of this country now. And they're horrible at communication. Good luck getting detention out of them. Good luck getting layover out of them. Good luck solving a problem on a load. That being said, I have found some great Landstar agents. There's one I work with. I don't want to say regular, but when I go to that area, he's my first phone call. Have a driver pulling a load for him on Sunday, and he is great. I get paid for some reason. I get paid for his loads faster than if I book a Landstar load through another agent. Shouldn't matter. Same company. Never have any problems with his loads. And he even admitted to me, he's like, yeah, there's some of the biggest Landstar agencies are outside of this country, and they're giving the rest of the company a bad name. So some are good, some are bad. You got to hunt them down, man. You gotta try them is all. Ryan says, just realized my wrench. High five. Yeah, I went through the other day and I gave out a bunch of wrenches offline. I forget to do that from time to time. Skinny Peters needs a wrench, but can't do it right now while I'm live. Oh man, vulgar, you guys are. But yeah, a lot going on in trucking right now. Tumultuous time of the year. Holidays coming and going. Let me cash is king. Come on in, man, if you want to. If you want to. Yeah, Georgia Peach, I gave you a wrench. Anybody wants a wrench, you can email me if you want to, because you could tell me here and I won't remember. Gotta have some water out of my invisible glass here. Y'all see that? Oh yeah, don't forget to go get your Cash is King trucking merch from the Cash is King trucking merch store. He has a new Capstone Sucks t-shirt. Definitely got to get me one of those. Nevada says rates have been great on my end. That's great. That's great to hear. Hopefully they stay that way. I was a Lisa Landstar. I was for 9 years. Now I'm a carrier. Oh, he was a Landstar agent for 9 years, maybe. Now I'm a carrier, still pulling their loads. And yes, he was leased to Landstar for 9 years. And now I'm a carrier, still pulling their loads. And yes, I have a lot of agents. We're great. Yes, that is true. Some agents play games, man. They'll pay an outside carrier more than they will a leased on owner operator, because the commission structure works different than if they put it on an in-house truck. I don't think that's quite right. I don't think that's right. Georgia Patriot said, so the Fuelox website is confusing about if you need to use Catalyst if you are using antigel. They are separate products. Okay. The antigel is antigel. That's what it does, is keeps you from gelling. There's two antigels. The Freeze Guard, which is just straight up military grade antigel. It is very powerful, very concentrated. There is the Cold Charge, which is antigel with the catalyst in it. See, the catalyst does something totally different than antigel. Catalyst is, gives you more complete burn, gives you the benefits of all that, cleaner system, better fuel economy, etc. You can run both. I mean, if you don't use the catalyst, you don't get the benefits of it. So the Cold Charge is not as good as any antigel on the market with the catalyst in it. Uh, if you feel you need more, double it up or put some freeze guard in there. Um, Nevada says was able to use your FuelOx code, got 10% off. Was also able to use another promo code for another 10%. Good deal. You should be getting 15% with my discount code Nevada. And if you didn't, I would call them and say, "Hey, I'm supposed to get 15%. That will be fixed. I can't fix it for you, but they can fix it." Um, Ryan Brandenburg says, "Hey, Cash, need me to teach you how to run a real LTL truck?" Just playing. He needs to get that. His truck is broke. His truck's at the doctor, getting fixed. Somebody felt the need to run into him. Yeah, if you do the fuel locks, use the promo code DIY Semi. You're supposed to get 15% off every order. Sometimes the website's glitchy. Maybe they only give you 10 because you're able to double up on that promo code. I don't know. Fate Trucking's done with that laundry. That's good. Only 10? Okay, call them. I'd suggest you call them. Mark M. Gotten here late. Dang it, Mark. I'm noticing way more extremes in the market right now. When it's a hot, rates are crazy. When it's just the slightest in the broker's favor, rates are in the dump. Yeah, we've been talking about that all night, Mark. So I'm glad you're seeing that too. Because, YouTube has you believe that it's only ever $10 a mile, no matter what. Trucking with V-Locks. What's up, everyone? Watching some DIY while I get loaded in Henderson, Nevada. All right, good deal. Rates are pretty good out there. I got a driver that goes out there. If regular, pretty good out there. What's the promo? What's the other promo code? Yeah, throw that. Go ahead and throw that out there. Jackknife. Yep, you got a wrench too, buddy. Everybody's got to check out that channel. Got a lot of channels in here tonight. Check them all out. Trucking with V-Locks, Nevada Trucking and Trails, Cash is King Trucking. Where did Mark go? Nomadic Brit. We got a bunch in here. I lost it. I'm behind. Trucker Style Sean. Was he in here? Oh, maybe the Trucker Style Sean's promo code. Okay. I don't know. Nevada says missed the call. All right. Mark's gonna listen to the replay tomorrow. Ryan says Vlogs hit that truck wash while you're out there. What's that good truck wash in Vegas, or is it in Henderson? I used to like that one up in Victorville, California. The Three Sisters. Used to go there all the time. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this up. I gotta go have me some dinner. Worked up an appetite. I was trying to play lumberjack after all my office work was done today. So tomorrow I'll probably be a little bit sore. Everybody, thanks for coming in. If you're in the market for anything, check out the links in the description below for MUDFLAP and FuelOx. And I hate Amazon. I don't think you should ever buy anything off of Amazon. But if you're going to use that link, maybe I can make 20 cents or something. Isn't that? Aren't I the best promoter of sales and all that? Like, I don't care. Don't ever buy this. But if you're gonna, do this, yeah, hit the like button on the way out. This weekend, watch for the notification. We're gonna do our best to pry some information out of Paul from Freight Connect, because we need to know what's up. We need to know what the rest of this year holds and the first quarter, and got tons of other good information. So he's been a great asset to the industry, and check the man out. I'll just be here moderating. So what's this all about? Yeah, come visit. You can hear me bitch about everything that's broken on my 13-letter crap spreader, but so far I haven't sat 2 weeks in a shop for DPF problems and never will. Big fan of the international driver, but more so the red ones, the farm equipment. Got international pickup truck and everything. So, uh, TJ Jones coming in. Oh, now everybody's coming in at the end here, and my wife just brought me home dinner. So I got to bounce, guys. Check out the replay, and like I said, definitely watch for the notification for big thing this big interview this weekend with Paul from Freight Connect, and we'll check y'all later. Have a good night.